So I was born in Jerusalem and I grew up in Israel until I finished high school, and then went to Switzerland and studied painting for 5 years. And then I was in New York and then came back to Israel and spent around 12 years. So I lived most of my life in Israel. And 3 years ago, I started to feel like the atmosphere became very dense. People have to understand the war didn't start in October 7th. The war was always there in different ways. And I think that there is a very complicated and very tricky thing in Israel, which is the fact that the state was established on top of the Holocaust trauma and as a way to make sure that the trauma will never happen, which is a very good way to make sure that the trauma will happen. So if you resist that's how it goes. If you resist something that strongly, you inevitably manifest it. The Israeli state has occupied a land and created alliances with other countries and created a situation where there is seeming safety, like the high-tech nation and all that. But internally, because there was such a strong, I would say, really narrative control and mind control, like really growing up in Israel is really growing up with the narrative that we were prosecuted. It was always super dangerous for us, and therefore we have to have the Israeli state, and therefore we have to go to the army. It's very complicated colonialization, post-traumatic things that created Israel. And then through different movements that I perceive as kind of losing a sense of spiritual identity and sense of spiritual self, which is happening all over. Like the tribal and the nation identities are getting devoid of substance, and they become more like the machine. For me, for Faye, and this is my voice and I stand behind it, it's all resistance to the fact that reality is changing and we don't know what to do with it. And reality is changing because we are called to lean more and more into the feminine, lean more and more into nature, into the ground. And you can see the political issue and the war between people as an expression of disconnect from the land. So the more the Israeli high-tech bubble is flourishing, the more disparity there is from the actual ground. And this is why we are seeing what we are seeing now,